Okay, I realised that buzz, this is very onomatopoeic, bees buzz, but I realised the buzz actually came from a large wasp. So wasps buzz, flies buzz, bees buzz, they all go bzzz. Okay, the tyres thumped, yeah? That's a thumping sound, but these are tyres thumping on the wooden planks, yeah, of the bridge, yeah? And so they were driving over a bridge and the tyres thumped on the wooden planks. But any large, heavy object that's quite soft, notice that tyres are soft, any large, heavy object that hits something else can thump or thud. I think thump and thud are very similar, and they look similar, yeah? Thump, thud, they both start THU with that thump, thump. Okay, we heard footsteps and the tinkle of ice. So again, tinkle is that sound of, that's a tinkling sound, okay? And this was the tinkle of ice. Sometimes ice tinkles in the glass, doesn't it? Against the china. So the ice tinkled against the china, the porcelain of the cup. Okay, the judge snorted. Yeah, that's a snort. And you often do it when you laugh. I mean, everybody does this sometimes. If you laugh unexpectedly, you suddenly burst out laughing, you often, yeah, like that. You make that snorting sound. So it's often before you laugh, but it doesn't have to be. You can even snort drugs. Yeah, it means, that's what snort means as well. It has that second meaning, so be aware of that. But it certainly has a sound meaning, and we all snort sometimes. Sometimes when we laugh, and sometimes when we don't believe something, or when we're like, yeah, there are a number of reasons you might snort, but it's that sound you make with your nose, really, when air goes in. I think that, yeah, it's usually, I think, when air goes in, when you breathe in through your nose, and it makes that sound. Black flies whined around our ears. Now, whine is very often children whine, and it's when they moan and groan and grumble and complain. All of those verbs mean complain, yeah? But whine to me sounds like, yeah. Yes, when they don't have something that they want and they go, yeah. Babies whine, of course, when they're hungry or something like that. But here, black flies whined around our ears, so they made that noise around your ears. Okay, so fridges can hum, yeah, like I could hear him sneezing and humming to himself. Yeah, I hum to myself very often. I like humming, and but I prefer singing, if I'm honest. I do prefer singing. Fabulous, said Charles, padding into the kitchen. That's what padding into sounds like to me. It sounds like your feet padding against the floor. So fabulous, said Charles, padding into the kitchen. That's the sound of him walking into the kitchen without socks and shoes on. You know, that's why it says padding. It sounds to me like he's not wearing socks and shoes, and it's just the sound of his skin. I'm not wearing socks or shoes at the moment, and it's the sound of his skin on the floor, yeah, padding into the kitchen. Okay, my voice boomed. Yeah, booming voice is a loud voice that goes very far, a booming voice. So my voice boomed and reverberated. Yeah, and that means I echoed in the dark interior. My voice was loud and booming, and it echoed, it reverberated in the dark interior. Birds were chirping in the eaves. I'm very lucky. I have a tree right next to my office. It's a big tree in my neighbour's garden, and there are loads of birds that come and live on that tree, and they're always chirping at sunrise and sunset. And so I'm very lucky I get to hear the birds chirping every day.